What's up guys, Tyler here with Secure Team. Today we're going to start off with some new images emailed to me by a viewer who said that he was snapping some pictures of a massive lightning and thunderstorm over Atlanta, Georgia. And he said that he witnessed, while he was snapping images, a very strange triangular shaped object that appeared during some of the largest lightning strikes, the ones that would touch the ground. And as soon as this lightning would hit, he said that in some of these strikes, this object would appear. And obviously, it's very hard to snap pictures of lightning. So as he was taking pictures, he got one good image, that image you're seeing here, where we see this object, whatever it is, coming down in the lightning, almost inside this large beam of light. And we've shown you these beams of light in the past in our last video when we were talking about these possible interdimensional beings using these like wormholes that are out in space as well as above the earth and have been seen coming down and appearing. Here are some of those other images capturing these strange beams of light coming down all over the world, captured in photographs. They don't always appear during these lightning storms. So again, very strange image. We're zooming in for you here, showing this triangular shaped object. And speaking of UFOs that are triangular shaped, we have been getting a lot of imagery lately featuring these triangle shaped UFOs. Now, if you remember our last video, one of our last videos, we posted this image from Australia that was sent to us, and we noted the fact that these circular clouds are popping up all over the world suddenly, and it's something that I had really never seen before. But we've also talked about UFOs that have seemingly punched holes in clouds. Some have called them cloaked UFOs that will punch these holes in the clouds, and we got a new email from someone who said that he witnessed an object do just that. And as you're seeing here, the source said that he took a series of photos, and he sent me a bunch of them, but this is the best one showing this triangular hole that he said he watched punched out of the clouds. This is on the coast of New Jersey, across the harbor near Brooklyn. And you can see the triangular shape. He said it was very eerie. He said this was not there just moments before, and it almost looked like something triangular had moved through the clouds, causing this triangular indentation in the clouds. And this is certainly not the first time that we've seen these indentations. Here is one here of a circular object. It looks like it moved straight through the cloud. We've seen these over Russia. We've seen these over Afghanistan. These things have popped up Europe, everywhere. Now, speaking of triangular, I mean, the circles do happen, but the triangular formations seen in the skies are much more prevalent. Here was a very mysterious image captured, I think it was last year, over Irvine, California, where someone had captured one of these cloaked triangular objects. I mean, this thing was massive, over Irvine, California. And you can see it here in the distance. We have seen these things cloaked. We have seen them materialize in the cloud, sort of indirectly. And we talked about this before, how these machines and these objects will be in the clouds, and the only way that you see them sometimes is when the clouds cause them to indirectly be identified. You'll see the clouds sort of wrap around these objects, and that's what you're seeing that happened over Irvine here. Some more very strange triangular objects, again, in the clouds, looking to punch holes in the clouds as they're moving up or down through them. This was a widespread sighting. These V-shaped objects appeared all within the same week, all within the same time frame, from the bottom of California all the way up to Washington. These V-shaped objects were seen everywhere. And some people were even able to snap photos of these things. You're seeing an image here, the typical sort of TR3B style shape. Here is another image, again, one of these things lighting up the surrounding sky. Here is a very mysterious image of one of these triangular objects captured once again in Irvine, California. And you see it has sort of this red glow to it, almost like you would think of a force field or some sort of plasma discharge coming from some of these objects. Here is another example. This was an object that was captured, I believe it was in the 50s, possibly the early 60s in Texas, of another one of these triangular craft. And of course, we have the Belgian TR-3B photos from the early 1990s that were captured of one of these crafts. It's called the Belgian UFO wave. That occurred, I believe, in 1991 or 1992. We've done videos on it in the past, but you see you have the triangular object, TR-3B, lights on all corners, and a light in the center. Much like this image here, captured at night recently over the States, of once again the same lights on the corners, the fiery red light in the center. And of course, lastly, how could we not leave out the infamous Phoenix lights that occurred over Phoenix, Arizona in 1997. So again, these triangular craft are very prevalent. They've been seen virtually across the entire globe. You name it, they've been seen there. They've even been seen in space. You've seen this picture here, which we featured all the time because it's one of the most clearest indications that these objects are not only on Earth, but they are in space and they are not always man-made. Now, on to another very strange sighting that was actually captured, and it was emailed over to Scott Waring from UFO Sightings Daily. A viewer of his was looking on Google Earth and found what looks like a strange six-pointed star found in the desert of Saudi Arabia, which is very strange if that is what it is, because obviously the six-pointed star is something linked to the Israelites, the Jewish people, and not Saudi Arabia, which is primarily Islam and people of Muslim descent. But again, it may be something else. It's not necessarily a Star of David, and it's strange. This was found, again, in the desert of Saudi Arabia. And you're seeing a contrast enhanced version here. Here is the regular version here. We'll put the coordinates down in the video description. Once again, posted by Scott Waring. A viewer sent it in. We get viewers all the time emailing us. We recently did a video on the strangest Google Earth sightings, and I will put the link to that video down in the description. You guys go check that out if you haven't seen it yet. Here is the zoomed out image showing you how isolated this area of the desert is. And you can see the object circled here, and it's just very strange. Here are a few more strange anomalous structures, again, that were found not far from this star-like formation. So again, check it out on Google Earth. Very, very strange. Alright, now for some more new footage sent to me, again captured in Texas, of a very strange object that sat stationary in the sky. Obviously kind of shocked the people who were recording it, so I'll let you take a look at this here.
Can you hear that? What is that? And why is it standing still? I don't know. Oh my God. What the heck?
Alright, so pretty interesting footage. I'm not sure. The jury's still out on it. Could be a drone, but this thing seemed pretty large for the distance that it was at. Pretty big. And it was recorded outside the source's apartment complex, and he said that multiple people were out there watching this thing and recording it with their cameras. So obviously they hadn't seen this thing before. Which again, I think if it were a drone, you know, at least somebody would have said, yeah, I've seen that before, because people tend to go out and play with their drones a lot, especially if they have one that lights up at night. But no, this was something new. Multiple people out there watching it in amazement, had no idea what it was, never seen it before. It sat in the sky for a period of time before jetting off into the distance. It wasn't out doing maneuvers or spinning or going up and down like you would see, again, with a drone or a remote control thing. There was no sound coming from the object. Let me know your thoughts on this. And, you know, it actually kind of reminds me of this footage here that we featured a few months back, captured in South Carolina, of a very similar object, kind of sat in the sky, but that afterwards appeared with multiple other objects and made sort of a very strange triangular formation in the sky, as you're seeing here. So again, big thanks from the source in Texas. Now, the last thing I want to talk about in this particular video is the fact that we have just hit the 40th anniversary of the 1976 Viking 1 photograph of the face on Mars. You're seeing that photograph here, taken in the Cydonia region on the Red Planet. A very infamous and controversial photograph of what clearly looks like a face. And we found the monoliths, we found other artificial structures on Mars. So 40 years since this photo came out. And again, as we talked about in our last video, and last couple of videos, about how NASA, as well as a conglomerate of virtually all of the other space agencies, are ramping up projects to get people to Mars. And I was talking about this and asking, why is there such a sudden interest in getting humans to Mars? Well, some more news has come out recently further corroborating this question. Recently, NASA booked a nuclear-certified Atlas V rocket for a 2020 launch of another rover to Mars. You're seeing an image here of what this new rover will look like. Furthermore, we've just found out that NASA is currently conducting underwater training for future Mars astronauts. And they are training underwater right now to prepare for future deep space missions, sending people to Mars and doing this underwater training. They're gearing up, just like I said they were. They are gearing up. They want to go to Mars, and although we've been going to Mars for years now, sending probes and rovers, the sudden increase in interest of getting us to Mars is obvious. So it's almost as if they've found something there, or there is some reason why they are wanting to get there quickly. They're getting another rover there as soon as they can. They've just booked the new rocket. They're training astronauts down at the bottom of the ocean, as well as other training facilities as we speak, for future Mars missions. So again, a lot of things going on, all of them having to do with Mars. NASA wants to get there, so do all the other space agencies. So I feel like we're ramping up, and there's got to be a reason. There's got to be a reason. This is a very sudden, palpable rush that everyone has noticed of this interest, this sudden interest on really getting us to Mars, or at least getting astronauts to Mars. So again, let me know what you guys think. I hope, and I'm sure we'll find out more about this as we go on, but I feel like NASA's on the verge of telling us something about Mars, or at least someone is going to release some information. I won't hold my breath for NASA. Let me know what you guys think. What do you think about all these sightings, the images? These triangular craft are being seen, strange shapes in the clouds. It's all very mysterious. So thanks for watching. Be sure to share, like, and subscribe on your way out, and I'll see you back soon with much, much more. Stay safe, guys.
Thank you.